The only choice we have is, do we appease and accommodate that strategy, or do we take action now to prevent conflict? Last summer, the new British Prime Minister described China as the biggest long-term threat in Britain, and he said that the Confucius Institute should be closed. He was right, and we need to see those policies enacted urgently. The UK's integrated review needs to be amended to make it absolutely clear that China is a threat. Confucius Institutes in the UK should be closed down immediately. Instead, the service could be provided by organisations with the support of Hong Kong nationals and Taiwanese nationals who've come to the United Kingdom freely. We also need to make sure that we rule out the resumption of the Economic and Financial Dialogue and the Joint Economic and Trade Commission, because we cannot have more integration with the Chinese economy. Recently, there have been too many mixed messages from the free world. We need to end that ambiguity. This is because there are still too many in the West who are trying to cling on to the idea that we can somehow cooperate with China on issues like climate change as if there's nothing wrong. As if there are bigger issues than Chinese global dominance or the future of freedom and democracy. But without freedom and democracy, there is nothing else. We know what happens to the environment or to world health under totalitarian regimes that don't tell the truth. You can't believe a word they say. Despite the evidence, some in the West continue to turn a blind eye for one simple reason, and that reason is economics. They're determined to try and cling on to the failed globalist model that's driven what people consider to be easy growth in Western societies. Until the recent inflation crisis, we had relatively low prices and regular reductions in prices, often driven by cheap imports from China. We also saw significant investment into our economies. Of course, it hasn't been easy for industrial parts of Britain producing goods like steel or ceramics that have found themselves undercut by goods with state subsidies or by intellectual property theft. And what I saw when I was in government is how the Treasury were very reluctant to take a tough line on China, wanting instead to have economic financial dialogues, wanting to have trade talks. And Britain is not unique in that respect. Treasuries and finance ministries across the West are keen to engage with China. We could also use trade agreements and trade pacts as a stepping stone to uphold freedom. I'm very pleased that the United Kingdom has now joined the Comprehensive and Progressive Trans-Pacific Partnership, the CPTPP, a vital geopolitical as well as a vital economic agreement. Now, Taiwan applied to join the CPTPP in September 2021. I would be delighted to see that happen. Not only would it boost UK-Taiwan trade, which already stands at £8.6 billion a year, it would also help further build economic links for this important democracy. I want the UK to champion the fast-tracking of Taiwan's accession in collaboration with key members of the CPTPP. It is also vital that China is blocked from being a member of the CPTPP, and I encourage the United Kingdom government to say this publicly, as well as governments in Japan and Canada and our other allies.